Aka Farm Yambi. Welcome again in Aka with Pauline. And today we're going to talk about illumination, which is still Kwaka. So today we're going to talk about how to illuminate yourself and the sages, because in Aka Farm, we have to shine so bright. What is illumination? Normally, illumination, or how to illuminate yourself, this is like a fact when you feel like you have to work on yourself, you have to brighten your future, you have to brighten what you do so that people can learn after you. So join with me on this session where we're going to start on the tips of how to illuminate yourself. Thank you. Welcome again. So as I told you previously, in this session, you're going to talk about illumination. And I'm not alone. I'm going to be with my friend. I'm going to tell you about him. But this is a kind of friend we met. And I was like, I saw him and I was like, hey, dude, you're illuminating like his mindset. So this is someone like when you talk, you can feel like this is someone who have moved from a certain period of life and maybe who have faced different challenges. But after that, he decided to work on himself. And what I really loved about him is not like he's not only busy working on himself, but he's also looking for the way to help other people to illuminate. This is the kind of friend when you can feel like after him, you're bright, after talking with him, like your light is really, like your light is really shining. So today we had a chance to have him in Aka Farm, and join me welcoming one and only Mr. Duce of Africa in Aka Farm.
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to everybody, good morning or good evening, depending on where you are.
I know. So, do you mind sharing or introducing yourself to us and to people in Aka Farm who don't know you, so that when we're talking, we're going to know who really Mr. Duce of Africa?
Exactly. Thank you very much. First of all, I must thank you for bringing me on this platform. It's a platform I believe is going to illuminate many other people. It's a platform I value, and I value the work that you are doing. So, first of all, I'm a firm believer in the fact that there is no nation that rises above its potential. There is no individual that can rise above their potential. There is no relationship that is stronger than the potential of the people who are in that relationship. No anything that can be better than its own potential. So personally, I'm an educator, and the role of an educator for me is to help people discover themselves, develop themselves, and deploy their potentials. So I'm a founder of an organization called the Juice Leadership Initiative. By the way, the word juice is very special to us. It's an abbreviation that stands for Discover Your Diamonds, Unleash Your Potential, Commit to the Journey, and Elevate Others. So under this organization, we aim to help people discover their potentials, discover who they are. But most importantly, we also bridge the gap between schools and communities. And apart from that, I'm also a speaker. Maybe one day you'll find me speaking. And I'm also an author. I also write a lot of articles and books as well. And I also preach as well. Maybe one day you'll find me preaching. You shouldn't be confused. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was a really good introduction, and I really believe Duce is going to grow and it's going to be a success to you in the future. Sure. So, do you mind sharing with us your story and when you feel you have to make a change in your life and illuminate? Mm-hmm.
I always love to share my story, because most of the things that I do now, they are more inspired by a real life story that I've actually lived. So I think there are two important events of my life that have shaped my whole life to be what it is today. Okay. One of it is the period between 2007 and 2010, which was the time I was, a school dropout. And when you're a school dropout, I mean a school dropout not because of your choice, but because you are just raised in a family that might not afford education. It's not like you don't want to be in class. You really want to, because when we talk about school dropouts, there are those who have who chose not to be in school, and there are those that is not a choice, but that's the circumstance they find themselves in. So I remember during that time, it comes with mockery, it comes with deprivation, it comes with being looked down upon. In fact, where I come from, there's a song that people sing for people who are out of school. So the song is like, I'll sing for you, Shona, and I'll interpret it for you. So they sing something like, Mavudzi say nganga uchafa wakadero sinambodzidza. So it's like your hair looks like that of a traditional African healer. Yeah, the African traditional healer.
Yes.
You will die without an education. And this is what kids who go to school sing to those who don't go to school. So living in that space, I grew up thinking there was nothing good that can come out of me. I grew up thinking there were other people who were better candidates of success than I was. I grew up thinking that from where I come from, probably we are not the people for education. There is something that was made for us. But in 2010, I think there was a turnaround. I was brought back to school, and I went back to school, and I got the support of my teachers, by the way. I actually believe that illumination is not something you just do for yourself. Sometimes we're illuminated by others. I had teachers who believed in me. I had teachers who believed in my story. And I went to high school, and I worked hard with the help of friends and so forth. And for some reason, or by the grace of God, I managed to actually pass with 7 A's at ordinary level, and I went to A level, and I was one of the top performing students in the school and in the country with 20 points, all A's. And I also had the privilege of serving in some of very good places like the Zimbabwean Junior Parliament, where I had an opportunity to serve there. So when I graduated now as a top performing student, and I'm thinking of my life as a student in the street, as a school dropout, I asked myself one question: what is the connection between what I'm learning in class and the challenges of the community that I'm in? And most of the time I would realize that people who are in school are getting a certificate and the community want a skill. I would realize that people in class believe that because of what they know, they are going to get a lot of opportunities. Yet it's not just what you know, it's also what you know and who do you know and who knows you. I'm talking about networks, which is actually your network. People in class believe that their grades are going to give them jobs, yet there's already highest level of unemployment in many places. Yeah. People are actually looking for people that can create jobs, not just people who are looking for jobs. And I would realize that in class it was all about the points. Yet men are never defined by the points they get. Men are defined by the purpose they have of their life. Yes. So during that time I was like, what is this? And I remember getting my first job as a butcherman when I was thinking about all this. Imagine you are the top performing student, you are the one cutting meat. Not only is it disappointing to you as an individual, it is also disappointing to those who look up to you as a beacon of excellency. Sure. So I was having pressure from myself of integrating what I'm learning in class and the community, pressure from others who were looking at me as a role model, as in, how can I inspire them? And during that time, I remember, so students would come to the butcher where I was working, not to buy the meat, but they were interested in hearing more about my story, how I made it. So the owner of the butcher was like, I don't think I need you here. I think you should go and do something to do with people. And trust me, I lost my job. And that was very difficult as well for me. But that was the moment I sat down and I was like, I think I was born for something. I think I'm not I can be a school dropout, but I'm not an education dropout. There are certain things that I've learned in the community. There are so many people I can inspire with my story, and there is something I can do to education failing to meet the demands of the market. That's when I launched Juice Leadership Initiative in 2017. And trust me,
you launched it when you were?
When I was just 17 years old. I was coming from high school. Wow. So that's when I launched Juice Leadership Initiative, not as a big organization, because of course we didn't have resources. Which is also something I might want to say to somebody who feels like starting something, but sometimes conditions feels like you can't do it. I started it as a small thing, but when other people started to see the illuminated light of what I was doing, they started to believe in me. So it is because of the Juice Leadership Initiative that today, if you go to Zimbabwe, we have over 5,000 students who are part of the organization 5 years later. It is because of the Juice Leadership Initiative that I was selected as one of the 100 scholars that were selected for Mandela Scholarship to join the African Leadership University. It is because of the Juice Leadership Initiative that I've been able to work with organizations like Ashoka. I've been able to travel to countries like Nigeria, like Rwanda, like Uganda, like Kenya, like South Africa. The list goes on. So the point I'm just making is sometimes the change we seek is even in the mercy that we have that we can easily turn into a message.
Yes.
The change we seek is even in the tears that we have shed that we can turn into a testimony. The change we seek is even in the life that we have lived, trying to understand what does it mean and use it to illuminate yourself, but even those around you.
That was really good.
Thank you so much.
And so inspiring. Hope my people, you're learning that it doesn't matter when or why. When you know, like, the purpose of life, you have to work in it, and it has to be you. Other people are going to help you, but it has always to start by you. If you're not happy with what you're living, if you're not happy with your life, you're responsible to start working on you, to illuminate, and then start finding the purpose of your life. So while we continue, you say, like, you've got a scholarship, a Mandela scholarships, to be among African Leadership University. And it came to my mind when I normally talk to people maybe who are jobless or who are school dropouts, or who are, yes, especially those jobless and school dropouts. I can find most of them, they're like, they can't find the opportunities. They don't have someone to push them. They don't have someone to look out the opportunity for them. You talked about networking. They're complaining that they don't have network. So from someone you from Zimbabwe, how did you manage to start looking for opportunities all over the world? So you can tell us the ways you used so that it can inspire those who are still complaining.
Let me just say this. Let's say if you are looking for money, you need to know that the money you are looking for is not in heaven, it is on earth. Even if you are looking for a wife, she's not in heaven, she's just somewhere. You just need to know. Your wife is not in heaven, money is not in heaven, the scholarship is not in heaven. Whatever that you have ever thought about, it is not found in heaven, it is here on earth. Okay. Now, what that means is, whenever you find yourself looking for something, you should always know that what you lack is not what you are looking for. What you lack is the knowledge to unlock the portal of what you are looking for. For example, it's okay to say, I don't have money. But what you have is not, what you are looking for is not necessarily money. It is the knowledge of how to get to those who have it to invest in you. For example, let's say I don't have a YouTube channel, but you have, and I'm here now. You know, so the first and the biggest thing people have to understand is it's okay to know that you don't have something, but it's also okay to know that it is actually the lack of knowledge of finding what you think you don't have. And for me, being a child from a poor family, one of the things that have affected me, I've grown up saying, my parents don't have money, there are schools I can't go to, my parents don't have this, there are these opportunities, that until I said, I'm not going to talk about what I don't have. I am going to always say, this is how I talk. So I don't say, I don't have a scholarship or I don't have money. In my life, I say, I don't have the knowledge on how to get it. Because I want to identify myself with the action I need to take, not with what I don't have. So the first thing everybody should do is always knowing that it's less, never complain about what you don't have, it's with somebody else. Yes. So the first thing is networking. The biggest thing that a poor person or a person who has nothing and looking for something you can do for yourself is to always know that you have to network and connect with more people. The more you connect, every person is an opportunity. For example, me, it took me to move from the village and go to Harare for the first time. Harare is the capital city of Zimbabwe.
Yes. How long?
It's like 2 hours and a half from where I stay. And I came there and I went and I networked with a lady called Rebecca Ziglamano. She runs an organization called United States Achievers Program. She's the one that we told what we wanted to do. And she knew all these resources and everything. And she goes to unlock us. I can go on and on, even where I am working. It's other people who have put me there. Even if it's other people. So the first thing these people you should do is to network with new people and always be open about what you need to be helped on. It helps a lot. That's number one. And then number two, also, before you look for opportunities, there is a question you need to ask yourself. Because you see, if I see you today, for example, asking me for a job, you are not the only one.
Yeah.
There's also somebody who is asking for the same thing.
Yes.
So the first thing, that's why illumination is important, in the sense that what is it about you that will make people want to invest or work in you. Yes. So the problem of so many people is they want jobs because they want jobs.
Yeah.
You need to want a job because you have a value to bring to where you are going to work. Many people want a scholarship because they don't have money. Nobody invests in you because you don't have money. They invest in you because they can see a vision that you are pushing. When I was selected into Mandela Scholarship, they were looking for 100 leaders, young leaders, who wanted to continue with the legacy of Nelson Mandela of transforming the African continent. What did they do? They looked at the work I was doing of the Youth Leadership Initiative, and they were like, this is the person to sponsor. When they look at you, what do they see? Do they see a person crying for an opportunity, or they see a person with value worth investing?
I see.
So just three things. Number one, there is a need to reach out. Whether internet, whether talk to people, do something you have never done, because you can't keep on doing what you always do and expect to get something new.
Sure.
And then number two, your value proposition. What is it that you're going to market to get the opportunities that you're looking for? Number three, don't complain about what you don't have. Complain about your lack of knowledge in accessing what you're looking for.
Okay. I think that was really good. I think if I really understand you very well, you said what is needed first through your story. You don't have, like, opportunities are not going to find you at your home,
That's right,
sweetheart. You have to wake up and you go to find opportunities. If you know, like, you don't have maybe a job or a scholarship, you have to work hard for that. You have to work on yourself. You have to learn something. If you know you're targeting to get this kind of opportunity, look for the skills you're missing, look for the competencies that you don't have, and then build on that before looking for that same opportunities. And another thing that I learned is not all about you, and you're not the only one on the queue. There are many people. Yeah. And if you don't do it, my friend, somebody else will, and they will take the opportunity which was supposed to be yours. So I hope, like, by the end of today, my people who is in Accra or the new subscribers, you're going to start working on you, because that's the main purpose of Accra Farm. So you've been telling us about your journey or to the illumination, and you've been told us how you've been working, looking out for opportunities, how you've been making connections with different people. So I might come to ask you if the road was so smooth to the way you've been just going and then you connect with people, or maybe there've been certain challenges you've been faced. People can know, maybe you might find like there's some people who are facing like the same challenges and they don't know maybe how to deal with them. So you can share with them like a certain challenges you've been facing on the way to illumination, and how you've been facing them, or how you've been trying to cope up with the challenges in order that they never, you've been illuminating through even the challenges. Yeah.
If I say the journey was easy or the journey was smooth, I would be lying. But if I say I made the journey smooth, I will be truthful. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. The journey is automatically hard, and the journey is obviously difficult. But how we think and how we process the challenges we go through makes the journey very interesting. So the first thing I even want to say before speaking anything is life is also about the mindset you deploy to whatever you do. You know, I am that kind of a person that, let's say today I apply for a scholarship.
I see.
And they say no. I won't take that no without writing an email back to say what is it about my application that was not good so that I can apply next time.
Wow.
Even if I say to a girl, I love you, and she says no, I'm like, honey, what is wrong about me that I can work on and come back if possible? Or apply to the next person that I will meet in the future.
Wow.
Because exactly, because you need a mindset of always seeing no's as an opportunity to further develop yourself. But the problem we have with people is, for example, if you just say to somebody, I love you, and they say, no, it can't, we move to next person, next. We are always saying next. Yet, even when you look at relationships, when you say I'm moving on, it's not saying you're leaving this person and go to another one.
I know.
It's a mental reorientation. You've fixed that which was affecting you in previous, and you've mentally changed, and you focus on the next thing. So for me, whether it's a scholarship or what, first of all, you need to tell me, why not me? So that I can go and work on myself. What I'm just trying to hinge there is there's something called a growth mindset and there's something called a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is a mindset that accepts challenges and see them as an opportunity for growth. A fixed mindset sees challenges as an opportunity to quit.
Yeah, sure.
Why did I say this from the beginning? I said this from the beginning because whatever I'm going to talk about is for people with a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset, they can pause a little bit and probably come later to watch this. Because this is what I want to, this is what I want to make very clear, right? When I started this journey, I faced a lot of problems. The biggest problem was me.
Yeah, sure.
How was I a problem?
About us.
Exactly.
And they are complaining about other people.
And when you point with one finger, four fingers are pointing you. And for me, the biggest problem was me. In what sense? One, I had the problem of inferiority complex, whereby as a child from the village, when I went to the city for my high school, I wasted a lot of years thinking that kids in the city were better than me, only to find out they were privileged than I was. I would enter in rooms where I was supposed to speak. I did not speak because I was like, probably there's a new person. What if I say it and it's wrong? What if? You see, you never say, what if I say it and it's correct and I blow? Yeah. You always think of negative. And I suffered from that challenge of always seeing myself inferior to others. And trust me, the day I understood education as edusere and educare. Edusere means to bring out the inner diamonds of the person and to mold them. That is the reason why you see some of the people who dropped out of school like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg are some of the world's leading people. Because education is not just found in class. Education is that place when you discover yourself and you unleash your potential, what you call illumination.
Yes.
The day I understood that I'm not determined by the opinions or anything, but my value lies within. Trust me, I entered into rooms and I said to myself, I want to speak in a way that will make men rally to what I say. I entered places and I'm like, there is nobody bigger than me. In fact, that's why I'm here. If I wasn't that special, I wouldn't be in that room. They were enough. And liberating myself from that inferiority complex has allowed me to go for things I never thought I could. And that is number one. I will tell everybody, you will always feel insecure. You will always feel not enough. You will always feel like it's for others. You will always, but deal with yourself. Understand that your level of success is 2 minutes away. Is not even 2 minutes. The distance between you and what you want is actually you. When you change your mindset and you see yourself as the greatest participant of whatever you want. So for me, that's one thing I conquered. And the second thing is that thing of saying, there's always something that you don't have. And trust me, there is always. Why is it that you are not a good speaker? Because, for me, where I come from, there's always a justification. People don't do this. Why is it that you are not in school? Because we don't have money. Why is it that you're not? Because it's for certain people. There is always a reason why you can't do something. You need to deal with excuses. There's nothing that you're going to get because of excuses. In fact, actually stop saying, I cannot speak. You need to start saying, I'm working on my public speaking skills. Stop saying, I don't have money. You say, I'm finding it. Stop saying, I don't have a business. I am finding it. Why? That has helped me to know that there is no way I can have everything. And what I've done in this road, for example, I'm usually very good at envisioning things. And I'm very good at writing and speaking. So yeah, the point is, there will always be something that you don't have. But there's always power in knowing that it is with somebody. Develop communication skills and bring those people on board to be able to do what you want. So in conclusion, I would just say, for me, what has been helpful is mindset transformation. What has been helpful is knowing that I don't have to have it all. I will always reach out and work with other people.
Oh, that was really good. I think he's giving us the tips on how to deal with challenges. And I'm going to ask you also another question, but this is like a bit personal. As I'm planning for the kids' event, and I try to look for like the life we used to live when we were young. It's totally, the games we used to play, it's always totally different to what is just now or what is in present. So what I'm asking you, did you remember anything very funny which happened in your childhood so that you can share with us?
A lot of things. I was just a weird kid, but something that happened as a game or something my child has
Maybe
experienced.
in a game, maybe
I'll share a story,
that
an
happened,
incident.
and
Yeah,
you look at
yeah,
it right now,
yeah.
and you're like, wow.
I remember one day I was the one responsible for looking after the cows. So I was a young boy, and so we would take our cows and go somewhere far. And then I told the guys there that I was sick. Can you please, look after my father's cows as I go home a little bit, and I'll come back.
You're
and
going
then
to do what?
and then what I was going to home is I was trying to go and steal some peanut butter because I thought my mom was not there. So I went there and I opened the door. I took peanut butter. When you put peanut butter in your mouth, you can't talk.
Yeah.
It's all over the mouth. And then my mother entered.
It's still very sticky.
She just ended and she just looked at me like this. She didn't say anything. And I'm waiting for a clap so that it's even better to be clapped in that incident, And she was like, you know what?
Yeah.
God loves you so much. I'm proud of you. And that's more embarrassing that you are stealing and you're doing these weird things and the person is telling you good words. And she looked at me like
knew
that.
it?
I was just, she knew it that I was stealing and she wanted to embarrass me by telling me good things that she knows I'm not doing. So she's like, I'm proud of you. God loves you. In fact, and I was like,
Same with Rwandan Palace.
I was like,
Also like,
so so for us in Zimbabwe, if you see your parent doing that, it's just the opposite of what you're doing. Or if they're visitors and she looks at you like this, you just know something is wrong.
something is wrong.
So she said that, and I remember I just went down. I couldn't even say anything. But that event reminded me of something that I always think. When you meet somebody who is sick, or when you meet somebody who is going through something, or you meet somebody who is even abusing drugs or do something,
Yeah.
don't judge what they are doing.
Yes.
Speak good things about themselves. Because that day when my mother told me how proud she was of me, yet I was stealing, it convicted me to never steal. Because she showed me the most best thing I could have done, which I wasn't. So when we meet somebody at their low points, I think it is always good to remind them of good things that can come out of themselves than to find somebody smoking and say, smoking is bad. It doesn't change anybody.
Yeah.
Tell them that there's a great person inside of you. Do you want to kill the future leader of a nation, of a company, just because of a cigarette?
Yeah. Even me, I normally do something like that, but for me, it's not. I normally do it in at times when someone disappointed me. Did you ever have so much to someone or believe so much in someone, and by the end of the day, that same person disappoints
True.
you?
Yeah.
So I've got to learn, like, if someone is disappointing you or they're doing something to hurt you, it's not good. Like, if you show them your heart or if you speak ill of them, that's what they're expecting. They do it when they're expecting you to either challenge them or speak ill of them or do something back,
And they use
back
that as
to
a
them.
reason.
Yes. So when you do after disappointment, I normally say like, okay, thank you so much, because it's an opportunity to learn. But at the end of the day, you find like this is not the kind of person I need in my life. You learn also from your flaws, and then by the end of the day, you find like the person, what their expectations is not what they're getting, and it's even like a remedy for me to heal on the after the disappointment.
Powerful.
So same as what you say, like
Yeah,
you
I
just
can't
applaud
forget
them
that
like,
incident.
hey.
Yeah.
Even random parents, they were like that. They could see you and say like, hey, yeah, congratulations. We are very proud of you.
Yeah.
The whole village is proud of you. So it's like that. So back to our sheep.
Yeah. Back to the ship.
So I would like to ask you in concluding, if there are some maybe the habit you've been on the way for illumination, because we're learning how to illuminate. Akafam is all about illuminating in the mindset, shifting from growth mindset to from fixed mindset to the growth mindset, as you said. And also we look good, so it's like we're working the inner us and even the outside we're going to be illuminating.
Yeah.
So when I see about you, or when we met, or when I just review what you normally do, I would like to ask, because by the end of the day, we find like when people are married, sometimes they have a lot of things on the schedule. So I would like to know, are you married?
No, I'm not yet. But I'm married to my videos, my books, and the things that I do. I'm married to, I have many wives in the form of my videos on YouTube.
Wow.
I have many wives in the form of the organization and so forth. Yeah.
So you're not single while you're still searching?
No, I'm already married.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. So in conclusion, it's a journey. Coming from like a place, or when you're a bit maybe depressed, or when you feel like you're left out, to the place when you're illuminating and start to illuminate those around you. So I would like to ask you, while concluding, if there may be a certain habit you've been having through the illumination journey, or if there is certain books, like what you've been doing, so that people who are watching us, they're going to learn that from you. They're going to learn that habit from you, so that by the end of the day, when you're going to come back in the farm, you're going to find like people are working, and I wish it's going to be very insightful to them.
Actually, before I even start answering, I also want to just say this, right? One of the advantages of illumination is that when you look at a person who has been fully illuminated, they don't suffer from the problem of wanting to compete with others as a way to boost self-esteem. You see, there are certain people who are very empty in terms of self-esteem, that the only time they feel good is after comparing themselves with other people. For them to be beautiful, they have to compare themselves with other people and how other girls look like. For them to be good in class, they have to be on number one and make everybody feel like he's a fool, just because they want to be on top, they want to be the talk of the day. But when you reach the place of illumination, you understand that every person is created for a unique purpose, and there is no way to compare oranges and potatoes. They are different and they serve a different purpose. You can still be good, right? Just like as you see people comparing Ronaldo and Messi, and people almost beating each other. At the end of the day, these are two men differently gifted, and they are doing their best. They are all the best in the way. So that's one. And then when it comes to the habits and the things I read, I would start with the things I read maybe. First of all, you have to read books that allows you to know who you are. You need to have a mode, something that identifies you. For example, me, my identity comes, I'm a Christian, by the way, and I'm not ashamed of that. I have found the message of Christ is where I anchor my identity in. So it's not defined by what I go through. It's not defined by anything but who God says I am. So every time I go to the Bible and I see him calling me very good, him calling me a son, I see him calling himself my father, I see him talking about as a man thinketh in his heart so easy. That's what shapes my identity. And if you start reading anything without understanding of where you're coming from, everything is useless because you don't have a stand. So the first thing I would say to people is read a lot of, if you are not a Christian, which is still fine, right? If you're not a Christian and you're also listening, try to read things that identifies you. Because that's the first thing you need. Something, what is the stand, what is the backbone of your identity? Where does your identity rest on? There are some people that it rests on materialism. That's why they need iPhone 14 to show off that they're great. right? But trust me, there's a kid like me who will enter in a room where everybody was driving. But when I enter there, you'll think I'm the one who came driving the most expensive car. Yet I came walking. But I've understood that my value is not in the car I drive. There are certain kids who feel like because of the places they eat and they post, their social media followers, that's where their value comes from. But trust me, I might have 2 followers, but when we look at your content and my content, I still have the confidence in the number of, because my identity is not shaped by that. So some it's materialism, some people it's other people. For example, have you ever seen that a lot of girls go through heartbreaks, right? Because they can't just feel valuable when they are not with somebody. You need to actually feel okay when you're alone. It's very fine to feel full. You should never be empty and needs other people to complete you. You will have something called the dependent syndrome, whereby you cannot, if you ever, I don't know, but some of you would know, you date a certain person or you're in a certain relationship with somebody, they can't make a decision on their own. It's always, I have to ask this person first. I have to do, this one told me, my mentor told me, my pastor told me, my mother told me, what did you tell yourself? They don't have anything of their own. It's always other people. So read books that shape your identity, shape your opinions, have a stance on things. If other people are going to club, go if it's your stance to say I want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. So read that. And the book I can also propose is called Relational Intelligence. It was written by Dr. Dyrus. And one of the quotations in that book is, we don't go far as our dream. We go far as our team. You know, a lot of people have dreams, but they have the wrong people to tell. If you have $1 million dream and you tell it to a dollar mindset, they will tell you it's impossible. If you have a dream to take over the world and you tell it to a man who just want a piece of land as a sign of prestige, they'll kill it. If you have a dream to get married and you tell it to ladies of the night, they'll tell you you're wasting time. Every dream has a right person to tell. Every vision has a right person to execute it with. So another thing is, I know many people who might be watching this, they have good dreams. They dream very good. They have good visions, but they have wrong people. People are the fuel that takes us to the destination of our dreams. So Relational Intelligence as a book will help you to actually understand how to deal with issues surrounding relating with other people. And I can also recommend the one I'm releasing very soon, which is called Careerathon, Mastering the Transition from School into the Market. This is a book that will speak to teachers that your students are not just empty buckets that you have to fill. They are fires that you have to illuminate. In the sense that when you meet every student, you are meeting a gold mine. Inside that student, there's a gold. This book will speak to individuals for them to know that inside of them lies their careers and every future they ever dreamt of. This book will speak to governments to say, if you look at America today, it's not great because it has minerals Africa doesn't have. If you look at UK, it's not great because it has oil that Africa doesn't have. It's great because it will unleash the potential of individuals. It will direct governments and educators to what exactly to invest on in terms of the potential we have in the continent. And this is my gift to the world as I turn 25. So it's going to be good.
Oh, thank you so much, Juice of Africa. That was really good. And I can't wait for your book. Hope I'm going to get a copy because I know like it's really good. And what's really about it is that it come and you really write about something which is really needed.
Thank you.
So, and thank you so much for what you gave us. But I feel like I want to ask a favor from you, where I would like you to share with us, because that was a lot. I think like people are going to watch, they pause, and then they write something in the notebooks. But I feel like it can also be good if you share with us at least 3 sentences about the takeaways that people have to take from you. Yeah, maybe 3 lines, 3 sentences, so that people can have that takeaway from Mr. You.
There is a you in you that makes you you. Actually, I'm saying you are the first capital to yourself. So what you need is to illuminate yourself in terms of discovering, developing, and deploying yourself.
Yeah.
Understanding who you are and put yourself out there. And then the second thing is, whatever you think you don't have is with somebody else. What you need is not to give up or to keep on crying saying I don't have something. Develop the knowledge to get it from those who have it. It's not in heaven, it's here on earth.
Yes.
And then number 3 is you are a product of what you consume every day. There is a need to have a good network of people that can also feed into you. There is a need to read things that matter, things that actually develop you. And to connect with that, I would just repeat what I said. We don't go far as our dream. We actually go far as our team. In everything you dream about, everything you want to do, who do you have in that team to make it happen?
That was really good. Thank you so much. I'm also taking them. So guys, thank you so much for being with us. This was really good. Please don't just take this for granted. Please review it, write some notes, because this is like one of the most inspiring men we have in Africa, and I'm so glad that he's still young to tell us more, to share with us more. And something that I really learned about him, there's some thing that I don't like, especially in hospitality industry where I am, where people fear to share with hope, like if we share, someone else is going to be better than me. My friend, no one is going to be better than you. You share what you know with others, so that you can eliminate, we can all eliminate. There's nothing looks good like when everyone is eliminating. That luminosity can be very powerful than having one source of illumination. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for being with us. Please, if you have a question you feel like you have to ask Mr. Juice of Africa, or if you have a comment or a suggestion, please feel free to write it in the comment box. And for me to do like such educational video like this one, please like this one, comment and share with your people. So thank you so much, and thank you so much, Mr. Juice. It was a pleasure to have you, and I wish you all the best in your projects. And what I can promise you, I'm going to be like around you. I'm going to be learning from you. I'm not going to cease that.
Thank you so much.
So I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.